Okay. Let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me have a minute here. Yeah, perfect. You guys can hear me. Perfect. I see Nancy coming in. First one in the house. Hey, Nancy. How was your weekend? A nice long one with Thanksgiving here. I apologize that I'm not looking at the camera. I'm kind of a mess right now. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, shit. I am struggling here, Nancy. I am struggling. We're going to go with these two. I'm just going to pick those two. Okay. Now, hopefully, I could be somewhat less of a mess and we could get the show rolling here. So I'm going to type in been busy. I hear you there. I will say, though, that the last 4 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days, 4.5 days, I have kind of forced myself to take a break. Now, you guys all know who Nate is. If you guys don't know Land Cloud Adventures, I'm sure you've heard me talk about him already. So I'm just going to say Nate. But I did relax as much as I could, and I do the quotes because Nate knows how much I'm actually capable of sitting down, relaxing, and doing no form of work in any way, shape, or form. So my 4 days of relaxing consisted of me doing Walmart deliveries, me getting ready for Europe. What else did I do? Clean the suite a little bit. I'm not even done with that. I actually am taking a break from dishes right now, which dishes and vacuuming were like top of my list, and I'm just now getting to them. But yeah, I'm halfway done with the dishes. I appreciate you guys giving me a little bit of an escape here. I hate dishes, so I was very ready to take a break for them. So I'm going to type in a question in the chat here. That way, anyone else who pops in as we continue the live stream can answer it as well. And this is off of that card, the Icebreakers edition. I picked 2 questions that are going to fit with tonight's live stream, aka going international. What? You had all last week off? Yeah, I don't blame you, Nancy. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow either, and I only had 4 days off. 2 of which were just extra. 2 of them were normal. I will have a week off here coming up, though. I have this week, next week, and the following week. So I am correct. I have 3 weeks, and then I have vacation time that I need to use, or I just lose it. So guess what? I am definitely going to use it. So starting this week, we are on week 14. No, 15, I think. We're either on week 14 or 15. We have 3 weeks left, 2 of which are normal class time, and then finals week, which a lot of my classes are already done. The ones that I do have, I don't really have finals for. I guess one of my programming classes, she is adding a final. I'm not really excited about that because I finished it probably like a month ago at this point, at least a couple weeks ago now. So to kind of just randomly throw a final in there, if I didn't work at the college, like if I was traveling on the road, for example, I would have just failed the final because everything was posted all at once. And I did it all, which made me think I was done with the class. There was nothing saying there was going to be a final. But hey, it is what it is. I know about it. Luckily, I work here. So, anyway, back to typing this in here. And I'm going to just read it out as I'm typing so you aren't sitting here awkwardly. The question of the night, the first one is, what is a city or country you think everyone should visit? I am really curious to see all the answers because we've kind of talked about, well, if you had a full, like an all expenses paid trip, where would you go? And it's fun hearing your guys' answers to that because you hear me all the time talk about my bucket list. So to hear some of your bucket list destinations is really awesome. But this one, I think like it's a little bit different. What's a city or country you think everyone should visit? And if you're willing, why do you think they should visit it? Because I would love to add some of your destinations to my list and continue growing my list. It's so hot in here, so I keep drinking water like crazy. They took a week of my vacation time and gave 7 personal days. I'm okay with it, but some aren't. Ooh, took a week of vacation time and gave 7 personal days. I don't know how I would feel about that, but I'm sure the way it's done for you is different for me. So here at the college, I get 4 weeks from the get-go. When I was first hired, I get 4 weeks of vacation time and 16 hours of personal time. Now, 2 weeks of vacation time carries over. And it's a little bit different. Like the end of the year is actually kind of June, July, not December. That's a whole different thing. But basically, at the end of the academic year, June, July, you could carry over 2 weeks of vacation time, but your personal time you cannot carry over at all. Outside of that, I don't remember how much it is exactly, but it's a decent, well, not decent, it is a good amount. It's a good amount of sick time. You get it every single year, and all of it carries over indefinitely. So, for example, Tuesday, I got to bring Rocky to the vet, and I am using a full 8 hours for that because I'm going to bring him to the vet. I'm going to probably stop at the dealership because I have a recall on my vehicle, and they're supposed to be able to fix it for free. I don't think that's going to be done on Tuesday, but I'm having some issues contacting them over the computer, and I completely zoned out on it. I got something in the mail the other day reminding me again. So while I'm up there for the vet, I might as well stop by the dealership and see, is it something they could do right then and there? If not, I'll definitely set up an appointment. Outside of that, once I'm done with the vet, I need to forward all of, so kind of getting into tonight's topic. You guys know I'm going international here. I'm going to Europe. And we're T minus 29 days away. So for anyone interested, 29 days from now, it is also Christmas. But going back to Rocky now, he is not up to date on his Bordetella, I believe it's pronounced. Basically, it is a shot, and not even like a shot. It's something they give them by mouth, and it's basically just to prevent kennel cough. Now, kennel cough is nothing typically too major. It's easily spread between dogs, though, and that's why it's a requirement if you're going to dog parks, going to boarding places. Your dog needs to have this shot, amongst other things. But basically, it's a typical, like a human cold almost. But similar to a human cold, if you have underlying illnesses and other health issues and concerns, a minor cold can become something very more serious and severe. Not that I'm worried about that, but he does need to get up to date. So when I am done with the vet Tuesday, I also have to contact the boarding place. I already have him scheduled for while I'm gone to Europe. I simply have to call him up, email them. I'm going to email them the documentations showing he's now up to date on everything. And I'm going to call him and just ask some questions, such as it's $30 a day for 14 days exactly. So I can run the numbers there, but they also have professional grooming. They clipped his nails last time. I want all of that again for him. It did add quite a bit of money to boarding him, but I want him to have a nice bath. I want him to be groomed. I want his nails done. It's going to be a spa trip for Rocky, and I'm willing to pay the extra money. But before we jump into talking about money here, I see Nancy's pulling up a country here saying the USA is where she thinks everyone should visit. And her reasoning is, I think the world thinks we're all rich or have a bloodlust, so to speak. I will say, without getting super political, because everything's political, I will say in general, I think just from some friends I have out of the country, the USA in some instances has turned into a laughing stock for other countries. I've seen that a couple times. So that's all I'm going to say on that matter. But Nancy is bringing up the other point. Thank you for bringing this up, Nancy, and reminding me. Before I start talking about money, there is a really bad virus going around. Dog REV. Don't know if it's around you. I did not know that was like an abbreviation or a name for it. So that's interesting. But what Nancy is talking about, for those who don't know, I actually saw this on social media the other day, and I sent the link, the video, to, it was a news video, I believe, even. I sent it to Nate, and I just said, heads up, I'm not too concerned about it, but wanted to put it on your radar in case Dallas or Pippa start having any symptoms. I try to do the same thing with Rocky. Like, better safe than sorry, right? If they start having, because the virus that Nancy's talking about here also shows the same symptoms as kennel cough. So if the dogs are coughing, hey, maybe be... Oh, I see spell checker coming in here. Thank you, Nancy. RSV is what it's called. So this virus has symptoms similar to kennel cough, but it seems to be a lot more contagious, spreading a lot faster, and I believe it has killed a couple dogs at this point. So going back, Dallas, Pippa, Rocky. The way I always see it, I sent it to Nate, and if he wants to watch the video, he can watch the video. It's up to him. But I always just, anyone that has dogs, I try to share that information out, because then if the dog does start coughing for some reason, you could just take it a little bit like more seriously, because if it is the RSV, you want to catch it right away. You don't want to hold off and think it's kennel cough when it could be something far worse. Excuse me. Down the wrong pipe. Nancy's saying that some boarding and grooming places are shutting down, and I haven't heard that either, but that does not surprise me. I will actually let you guys know what states these are right now. Oh, shit. Well, Nancy, it wasn't over by me. It shows how fast this is really spreading, though. Like, this is actually, I'm getting, honestly, a lot more a lot more concerned about this because originally I want to say it was mostly on the West Coast with it starting in Oregon, and I think it got as far as maybe Wyoming. Don't quote me on that, but that's basically what the concept was. It was nowhere near us here in the Midwest. But as I was pulling it up to tell you guys what state it is, in case you're in those states, I put new mysterious dog illness. The very first news article, the very first thing that pops up is a suspected case of mysterious dog illness in Michigan. So I'm going to take a moment here. Of course, we're just going to take a second. I was going to share my screen with you, but apparently they have to do an advertisement and show a guy in nothing but underwear. So we're just going to give it a minute. This is as bad as walking through Walmart the other day and having Nate say like white fluffy butts and stuff while I'm trying to shop. I want to share this screen with you guys because I do want to read this right now. I'm guessing it's Lower Michigan, but there is definitely something going around, and I could talk a little bit more in depth on this here. Okay, so I'm actually going to put myself over here. There we go. Yeah, so down by Detroit, it looks like a mysterious dog illness is going around. It has the potential to turn deadly. Royal Oak, Michigan. So don't know if I personally know anyone down there. When 7-year-old Tucker began coughing in the middle of September, his owner, September, that's really outdated. Like, wow. So it's basically spread. At this point, I would say it's probably spread across the entire country now, and we're only now starting to see the consequences and actually discover this. I immediately kept him from other dogs. We were not boarding. We weren't going to dog parks or anything like that. And we were being very cautious on our walks not to come in contact with other dogs. One thing I have read as well is a lot of dog owners that have dogs experiencing this illness, they cannot figure out how their dog got the illness. And even some of the top vets, the top doctors in the world, don't know if it's a virus, if it's bacteria. That's why, really, outside of Nancy saying it's called RSV, I only knew it as mysterious dog illness because literally no one knew what it was. But as you can see at the vet clinic, his lab work came back clear. However, his cough is one of the symptoms connected to this virus, just like I was saying. The illness does not respond to antibiotics, which is another huge concern if it does become more severe. They're giving him a steroid to get rid of the cough. And that is another thing. This is just the owner here saying the most important thing is just early detection, like I was saying. But it's because if it does go unnoticed, it becomes more severe and might even cause pneumonia. So definitely something, if you have a dog, this is something I think should be on your radar right now. And I will say that as this stuff has been popping up, I was already concerned with Rocky. I think I even made a YouTube community post kind of talking about it a little bit even. But as I'm getting more and more information, it does seem like it has spread throughout the country right now. I did see another article on here from 2 days ago from Chicago saying that hundreds of dogs in the U.S. now have this mysterious, potentially fatal illness. Mom's in Indiana. She told me about someone she knows. I assume in Indiana. Sounds like the place you're taking Rocky to will be up on things. They are absolutely phenomenal. It's part of the reason why I am bringing him there. It is 2.5 hour drive one way, but they are absolutely phenomenal. They are $30 a night. I mean, grooming and stuff, like I said, that added quite a bit extra. Even let's just say, I want to see this right now. I was gone maybe last year for 7 days. I think I had him boarded for my Vegas, Arizona trip. So $30 at 7 days would come out to $210, and you got taxes and stuff. The total bill came out to about $400, so it probably cost about $100 to $200 to have him professionally groomed, nails done, yada yada yada. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Let me pop this up again. I just want to read this a little bit more here and see. Yeah, so this one is talking about some of the states like I was mentioning. Oregon, Colorado, and New Hampshire is a new one to me as well. Apparently that they have seen this illness. It's a lasting respiratory disease, and pneumonia does not respond to antibiotics. Symptoms of respiratory illnesses in dogs include coughing, sneezing, nasal or eye discharge, and lethargy. Some cases of the pneumonia progress very quickly, making dogs very sick within 24 to 36 hours. Back in Oregon, they have documented more than 200 cases of this disease since only the middle of August. It has encouraged pet owners to contact their vet if their dog is sick and told state vets to report cases as soon as possible. Dogs have died due to this disease, but without a clear way to define the disease or test for it, he said it's hard to put a number on how many have died from a severe form of infection. I'm concerned with Rocky about it, but here we go. A full list, guys. This is 2 days old. So as you can see, Michigan's not on here. That was just released today. But as of 2 days ago, these are the states that have had it: Oregon, Colorado, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, California. Going back to Nancy's comment, Indiana has had cases for it. Illinois, Washington, Idaho, Georgia, and Florida. So Rocky is being boarded in Wisconsin. So luckily, Wisconsin is not on this list right now. But then again, like I was saying, if it has spread this far and it's been here since August, September, I mean, that case from Michigan's from September. It is probably everywhere. If you wanted my thoughts on it, I feel like it's probably everywhere. We're just now only starting to see the effects and actually discover it. But yes, thank you, Nancy. Sorry for those who came in to hear about my Europe trip and stuff like that. We will get back on that topic, but I did want to talk about that tonight because that is very, very important in regards to Rocky, in regards to my trip. And I want to always share information with you guys to help you guys. And this could be a life-threatening situation for your dog. So to be able to be someone who shares the news and maybe informs some people of, hey, this is where it's been, these are what the symptoms are, that's very, very important to me. So it was very much worth kind of taking a break and going down that rabbit hole here. Rocky is probably never around strange dogs. He definitely is not. The only dogs Rocky is pretty much ever around anymore, since we're not on the road. And this is like, I like it, but I don't. Basically, the only dogs he's ever around is when he's either at the vet or if he is at this boarding place in Rhinelander. So if he goes and he's boarded for 2 weeks and he comes back and a month goes by and everything's going good, I think we're in the clear because he won't be around dogs here at the college. I don't really bring him to the dog park unless it's empty. But then again, I don't know. No one knows how this is spreading. Like Nancy just commented in, actually, I don't know how it's transmitted. So even bringing Rocky to the dog park when no dogs are there doesn't necessarily mean that he is not going to get it. So something to be aware of. But going back now to the Europe trip, I was talking about money a little bit. I'm not going to talk too much in depth, in detail about it, but I will say that this trip has cost me already a lot more money than I thought it was going to. I am not complaining about that, but I just wanted to give you guys that update because I'm sitting here and I did have to book another hotel yesterday to mark the 30 days away, basically. We got our hotel information, which every single one of our hotels are hostels. I would love to share the rooms with you guys, but for safety reasons, I am not going to give you the details of what hostels I will be in or where my flights are going, stuff like that. Because outside of safety reasons, I think it's cool for you guys to just tag along on my videos and, oh, this is where he went. I will say I do not have a layover in Paris or Amsterdam. I'm a little sad about that, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, that's, you guys know it's not in Amsterdam, it's not in Paris, but I think it just makes it a little bit more exciting that when I post these videos, you guys kind of get to go in somewhat blind and see all of this stuff I'm going to do. And again, safety reasons. I've just had some weird experiences on the road, so I never like to try to post where I am live or where I'm gonna be. It's like, it's a fine line. I think everyone should be aware of, even in their own lives, whether they're a YouTuber or not. But yes, going back to the money, it's gonna cost a bit to have Rocky boarded. I already kind of knew that, but they say that you should be prepared to spend $80 to $100 is their recommended budget per day. So the trip itself, the tour, is 9 days long. So for easy sake of example, the max, they're recommending $100 per day for lunch, shopping sprees, souvenirs, stuff like that, tips, which tips are not really huge. I do have to tip my my tour director, as well as the local guides. But basically, if you figure 9 days, $100 a piece, that's $900. I figured when I booked this trip, it would probably be about an extra 1,000. And that's barely over 1,000 is what I was thinking, extra to what I had already paid. No, it's gonna probably be 900. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I don't know how many souvenirs I'll get. I will say I am going to bring an overhead suitcase and a backpack. That's what I'm going to be traveling with. So it's got to be able to fit in either the overhead suitcase or the backpack on the way back. I don't want to spend a crazy amount of money because I'm more about the experience. And even now, I'm going through a lot of my stuff and I'm trying to. I can't think of what the term is called. Maybe Nancy, do you know it? I'm getting rid of some of my stuff. I want to say downgrading, but that's not what the term is. But I'm going through a lot of my stuff right now because in the future, if I plan on being in a camper, a lot of my stuff has to go. So don't go out and buy a bunch of different souvenirs. Some, yes. And you could get some cool ones, but be smart about it. Yeah, so Rocky's got to be boarded. They're budgeting that is their recommendation. And then I just didn't I underestimated how much these little things here and there were going to add up. I went and bought a neck pillow and I have to say I put it on and I was like, I don't understand how anyone could sleep with these or be comfortable with these. And then a couple minutes later while I was doing my shopping, I forgot that I put it. Thank you, Nancy. Yes, downsizing. I am downsizing and going through my stuff. But I forgot the neck pillow was on. I started shopping and I forgot it was on after a couple minutes. And it's a memory foam, so really nice. I did get a window seat for the flight from the US to Europe. Unfortunately, once I do get to Europe, the couple layovers and the flights back and stuff, I'm not able to pick a seat at this time. It says that I could call them because it's a third-party company that's partnering with the flights, the airline from the US here. So I might call them tomorrow during the weekday and see if I could pick some seats. But I did get a window seat from the US to Europe. I almost upgraded to business class. It was $500 to do so, and you kind of got a recliner, and there was walls, so you got a bunch of privacy, and I almost did, but for $500 more, I figured most of the trip I'm gonna probably be sleeping, I hope, on that flight. So, because I will say this, I leave around 7 p.m. on the 26th to Europe. I'll already be in Minneapolis. I leave Christmas Day, but I leave for Europe, the longest flight. It's 8.5 hours. I leave at 7 p.m. and it's it's an 8.5 hour flight. Dinner is included in the flight. So probably what I'm going to do is I'll be awake. I'll sightsee as we travel across the United States. And then once we get to the ocean, there's probably not going to be a lot to see outside my window. It'll be kind of cool to see the ocean outside the window, but it's going to get dark. It's already going to be dark. Who am I kidding? It's winter time here. It's going to be dark hours before I even leave. But hey, sightsee a little bit out the window while you have the city lights and stuff and eat the dinner that's provided. I'm really curious to see what they provide you for dinner. And then from there, probably just fall asleep, I hope, until more or less I get to Europe. Outside of that, I bought an outlet converter. You guys have heard me talk about that. I did buy a new one. That was, I think, $20-$30, and it's just one cube. And it has little sliders on each side, and you slide it down, and it becomes the outlet for that country. So really nice. I did use it here using the US outlet. And it charged my phone within an hour and a half, just like it normally would. I've been debating and trying to research mobile. I don't know if anyone knows this. Nate, if you watch this later on and you have one, because I wouldn't doubt it with all the YouTube stuff you do. If anyone has a recommendation for a portable charger for my phone, I am considering getting one of those right now. I will have my GoPro 12. That's going to get here in the next day or two. And the phone battery itself does typically last a long time. But in case of emergencies, stuff like that, I don't want my phone to be dead or super low. So I think it would be nice just to have one of those small portable chargers, and then I could just plug it in whenever it's getting low. But the catch is I want it to be small to the point that I could carry it around in a fanny pack. I did buy a fanny pack. Small that I could carry it around in a fanny pack with me. And I want it to be able to charge my phone somewhat quickly. Now, if it's like an hour, like at home type of deal, no biggie. But I don't want to plug it in and it's like, your phone is charging for 4 to 5 hours. What's the purpose of having the portable charger then? That's useless, because then I'll just charge it when I get back to the hotel. So I haven't found one yet. That is something I'm looking into. What else have I got in here? I'm gonna stand up for a minute. I got a bunch of stuff over here. Yep. I got the neck pillow. I got packing bags, packing boxes, packing something. Basically, they're supposed to be really good for suitcases. It helps keep everything really small so you could fit more in your suitcase. So I did buy a 3-pack of those at Walmart. And that's going to be interesting too. Prior to 3 weeks from now, when I'm on vacation and preparing for Europe for the final time, I do want to pack my suitcase before then. I wanted to do it this weekend, honestly, just to kind of see where can I fit everything, how much room does my stuff take up, yada, 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 so I could plan ahead a little bit and not have to do all of that last minute. But another side of that is my buddy Trevor. He works for the TSA at our local airport. So I've been asking him a lot of questions, and he's been helping me out. Like, don't take this if it's over this many ounces, stuff like that. So he did offer to help me with some other stuff. He's going to help me pick out like a TSA lock, because I found out the hostels do not have safes for our stuff. And I don't want, not saying anyone would, but I don't want my wallet laying around in a room with 6 other people, because if I'm asleep, somebody could very easily open my suitcase, take my wallet, debit card, cash, whatever it may be, and I wouldn't know because I'd be asleep. I don't want to chance that. It's one of those things, better safe than sorry. So I'm going to go get a TSA approved lock, and Trevor's going to help me pick that out. Again, he's been helping me with a lot of this stuff, and that brings me to our next topic of the night. I want to do some kind of series for this trip. I went into this thinking I'm just going to do one video and it's going to be on the Europe trip, and no. Why? Like, I've had people, I actually filmed it when I went to get my passport months ago. A lot of people were asking me, how do you get a passport? Is it complicated? How long does it take? So I filmed it, and I never put it together. I never made the video. I never obviously posted it. So sitting here, I think not recent, like right now, but in the very near future, I think it's going to be a perfect time to create an international series where, hey, this is how you get a passport. This is what the process is like. This is how much it cost me. This is how long it took to come in, yada, yada, yada. I pretty much got scammed out of money in one regard. So I'll talk about that and teach you guys what to do and what not to do so you don't lose a couple $100 like I did. But outside of that, I want to talk to Trevor. A couple months ago, we talked about us sitting down together and doing a video where it's like almost an interview. And like I said, he's been helping me with so much. Hey, I have this concern about my Europe trip. Oh, well, you should blah, 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 blah. I think it's a perfect time to do that video with him now, if he is still willing. I could sit down, and he can't necessarily answer international questions because he works here in the US, but at least he can talk about the flights here in the US, what it's like, how soon should I get to airports type of deal. Which some of that stuff I already know, but for any of you that may be interested, why not make a video and show you guys? And like, again, the passport. I had all of these questions. How long does it take? How much does it cost? I got scammed. I didn't know better. Why not share all of this stuff with you guys leading up to the trip, and then maybe do a video for every city? I have 2 days in Venice. This is what my spending time in Venice. I don't know. Make a video on Venice. And I'll make an overall video like, hey, this is my Europe trip, and I could do overall, like beginning to end, little things here and there that I can't fit in the individual ones. But it creates some really good content, I hope. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job very well. But it should create several really good videos. It kicks off, because here's the thing too. I'm not probably going to post much while I'm in Europe. I might post shorts here and there. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely keep your eyes out and have the notifications on, because I am still going to push for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I am still pushing for that. I'm not going to just give up, and I'm still going to try. I'm genuinely going to try. And we are at, let's see, 683 subscribers right now, so we do have a little bit of a way to go. And pretty much a singles month, I don't know, guys, 317 subscribers is what we need between now and January 1st, but I will definitely try. Otherwise, I'm not going to be posting live streams. I'm not going to go live while I'm in Europe that I know of. Maybe, but I don't think it's going to be like a set in stone thing. Like, you guys know, every Sunday I go live at 7 p.m. Well, that Sunday, whatever it is, January, maybe. Okay, so if anyone is interested, I will put this out there right now, but you're going to need to turn your notifications on. So every Sunday, you guys know that I go live, and typically I go live at 7 p.m. Central, because that's another thing now. Got to keep in mind, the time zones are going to be drastically different. But what I will do, maybe, is I will do a spur of the moment, because that Sunday is December 31st going into January 1st. So I will be at a giant festival, a worldwide type festival where they're going to have food and cultures and stuff from all over the world. Maybe I will go live, but I'm not going to do a set in stone. I'm not going to probably make a post warning people that, hey, I'm going to go live in a couple hours. It is going to be completely spur the moment if and when I do any shorts, live streams, etc. The normal videos, the 5-minute, 10-minute, maybe even 15, 20, whatever it may be, those videos are not going to happen until after I return from the trip. I'm probably going to take some time off to relax and get used to it again, like time zone wise, and get settled back in. And then kind of kicking off the new year, I'll be posting videos about the trip. So I have YouTube friends all over Europe, but none in Germany. Ooh, okay. Good to know. So I'm going to be there, and I'm going to hear, oh, I know Nancy. How is she doing? I genuinely would not be surprised. The world can be a small place sometimes. But yeah, I'm telling you guys right now, I can't promise anything because it's a vacation. Like I'm definitely gonna film. I'm the thing is, you guys have heard me, Captain Jack, um, Kyle, Nate, like when we were back at Pictured Rocks, we said there's a balance of filming it and live streaming for you guys and sharing it with you guys, but there's also living in the moment. And I don't want to be so focused on I need to film this, I need to go live at this time, I just want to enjoy the trip and do like go with the flow. It's one of the things I miss the most about the nomad life, honestly. I hate routine. I despise routine. Honestly, I do. I really hate routine. I love just being spontaneous and going with the flow and doing whatever whenever. And it's probably been two and a half, 3 years. I mean, I got a little bit of a taste of it again when it came to Pictured Rocks with the group, but for the most part, I haven't had that in my life, that spontaneousness, that stuff. Like, I haven't had that in probably 2 years now, maybe even longer. So, there's going to be days where, like, I have a free day. Maybe I go live during the free day. I don't know. It all depends on the moment, but that's kind of what I'm planning here, guys. I'm over the next month. I don't know. Even over the next month, I don't know if I'm going to go live every single Sunday. Honestly, full honesty here, these next 3 weeks are going to be super hectic. Both I have my classes, I have to give I have to give a persuasive presentation for one of my classes. That's how we wrap it up. That's basically the final, which is going to require me to kind of interview small business owners and like it's a lot. It's a project. And then you have the programming project, which I don't know what that's going to be either. That might take a significant amount of time. Then you have the college, like the job itself. You have me being the manager of the campus suites. We are getting to the end of the semester here. That means there might be some students moving out. I have to make sure everything with that process goes well. I need to make sure that I see, hold on. I lost my train of thought here. Not me, love my bubble. I was gone 2 days and I couldn't wait to get home. I am the complete opposite, Nancy. I was thinking about this already today and I almost got a little teary eyed thinking about it. I am totally going to cry on the way back. You guys have not seen that on camera. You guys have seen me tease it when I was waving bye to Nate and Dallas and Pippa and driving away from the campground. I was getting a little emotional behind the camera, but you guys have never seen it. I know when it comes time to come back from this Europe trip, I'm going to cry. I really do think I'm going to cry. Maybe it'll be a little bit different because I know I'm coming home to Rocky, but I don't know. I don't know. Usually on these trips, I do end up crying when it's time to leave. I am the complete opposite. Basically, let's just say this. I have never been on a trip or a vacation where, as Nancy put it, I couldn't wait to get home. That's where me and my dad, we talk about it all the time. My dad, he's like 7 days is too long, even like 3 to 4, that's max. Like, I just want to get home at that point. I am the complete opposite. 3 to 4 days, it's not worth my time. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth it. 3 to 4 days, no. Minimum, if I'm going out on some kind of trip, it has to be about a week, especially when I'm going international. It's got to be literally 9 to 10 days is pretty much my minimum if I'm going anywhere internationally. It's just, yeah, I've never been a person, never once in my life have I been ready to return home well on any kind of trip ever. I had lost my train of thought and I'm trying to go back to my train of thought. But I think the train crashed and burned because I don't even remember what the train was anymore before we started talking about that. Oh, I don't know. We were kind of just talking about the job and going back to money. It's all right, but I'm nervous. So I might be doing Walmart deliveries if and when I have some available time. Like I'm really going to push hard right now, and that's the other side. We are 29 days away from me getting on my first flight and leaving for this trip, which means we are in the final stretch. We are in the end zone. I need to finalize this stuff now. I need to know what time my flights are leaving, all of this stuff like the back of my hand. I need to get the international phone plan. I need to call them, contact them. This is when I'm going out of the country. Can I use my debit card? Can I use my credit card? What are the fees? Yada, 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 yada. This is all stuff on alongside the job, my classes. All of this stuff needs to be done within the next 29 days. So I don't know. I'll probably do at least one more live stream, but like, I just don't know either. At the same time, I don't know what I'll have to talk about because this is going to be what the next 30, 29 days look like for me. It's going to be really focusing and locking in on the classes, on deliveries, on the job, on my residence, on preparing for this trip. It's going to be just, let's finish strong, stuff like that. Spending time with my family for the holidays because we'll probably have a Christmas party before I leave for Europe. So it's going to be a very, very busy month leading up to a very, very busy 10 days, 11 days. Yeah, 11 days. I did find out there's a stretch. I did make a community post about this, so I will talk about it a little bit as we get to the top of the hour. I did make a community post. Don't know what it was about anymore. I lost my train of thought. Can you guys tell I'm tired? I was genuinely drinking coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon just to try to stay awake. It's been a very relaxing 4 days. I have relaxed quite a bit, but yeah. Nance? Ooh. I don't know if traveler's checks are a thing anymore. Well, everyone would say I'm young here, but I've never even heard of traveler's checks, if I'm being honest. So I appreciate it. Traveler's checks. Checks in general just seem to be something that's so outdated. Let's put it that way, outdated. One last question here. I'm just going to, I think, Nancy, I think you're the only one watching right now. So I'm just going to read it off. The last question. I am going on this trip with a bunch of strangers. We're in a group chat, and it is absolutely amazing. Like, it's blowing up right now, even throughout our live stream. It's phenomenal. I can't wait to meet them in person. I am so excited. The group chat has been so much fun already. So I am going to meet some strangers. I am going to be traveling with strangers. And I am going to be sleeping in hostels with complete strangers. So to end the live stream, the second question I have for the night is, who is a stranger that you still remember to this day and what made them memorable? Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be travel related because honestly, I would say the most memorable stranger. Ooh, I want to see what Nancy's saying here. They were a thing. My brother was in the military. They used them. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to have to look into it, Nancy. That is part of the thing, though. I need to know this is what I have for money. This is how I can use it, type of deal. Do I need to shift money from this account to this account? Yada, yada, yada. All of that stuff needs to be done within the next 29 days. Heck, the next 28 days, because I am not going to be doing it on Christmas morning on the day I leave. But who's a stranger you still remember to this day? What made them memorable? For me, you guys would think, well, he's probably met some amazing strangers on the road, so this is probably going to be a really good one. Yeah, I have met some amazing strangers on the road. Heck, I would even say that Nate is one of the coolest strangers that I've met. Now, we still, obviously, he comes to my live streams. I still watch his live streams. Like, there's still a connection there. There's a friendship there. There's a bond. So that I didn't want to give that as the answer. So here's someone, a stranger that I've only met once in my life, and I still remember them to this very day. Years ago, probably when I was in middle school. I don't even want to know how long that ago that was. I think I was in middle school though, and we were in Rhinelander, and we went to an Aldi's store. This was the very first time we had ever went to Aldi's, and it was a new experience for us. We absolutely loved it. Like, even just putting the quarter in the cart, it was really cool. But the deals were great. They had like some pretty big packs of food, so like you can buy a bigger pack of food and save money and just stock up. It was absolutely phenomenal. And we get to the register and we ring it all up, and our card is just overflowing. It was over $200 worth of stuff, well over $200 worth of stuff. And my mom went to pay with her card, and her card wasn't working for some reason. And then I think she tried something else, but I remember the cashier saying like they don't accept that here, like a check maybe, I don't know. So her card's not working, and I'm watching my mom now panic about this situation as people are sitting in line behind her, and she has well over $200 worth of groceries. She's trying to feed me, my sister, my stepdad, and she can't pay for this food. She can't pay for this food. She can't call her bank because it's a Sunday, so she wasn't able to call them back then. I'm going to call the bank in the next couple days to get some answers in Nancy's regard. But my mom wasn't able to call the bank back then. So I'm watching my mom kind of panic in this situation when all of a sudden the guy behind her puts a thing of laundry detergent and I think one or two other items on the conveyor belt, and he goes, add those to her order and I'll pay for it. And my mom looked at him and she's like, just kind of confused. And he's like, I'll pay for it all. He kind of doesn't pay any attention to us. He immediately puts his card in, pays for it all, looks at my mom and us and says, have a great day. He grabs his bag and walks out of the store, doesn't let us say thank you to him, doesn't say anything else to us, just have a great day, and he's gone. He actively, like, it was like he didn't want us to say thank you almost. So we're walking out to the parking lot, and my mom's like rushing out there, like, I have to say thank you. I have to say thank you. And she's just in tears. She can't believe what just happened. It was the kindest thing that she had ever saw up until that point. And just absolutely, like, I want, still to this day, one of the kindest things that I've ever witnessed firsthand. Um, I'd say it's the second kindest thing I've ever seen. And we get out to the parking lot, and my mom's trying to flag him down, and he just waves, and he looks at me and my sister, and he waves, and he gives us a big smile, and he drove away. Never found him. Like, my mom was, I think she posted on Facebook, does anyone know who did it? I just want to say thank you. We never figured out who it was. Never met the guy again. It was just really fast. Hey, add it to my stuff. I'll pay for it. Well over $200 worth of stuff, and then rushed away before we could even thank him. My aunt's brother-in-law kept putting his finger in my ear. Creepy. Yeah, so that is what I'm going to end the live stream on. Who is a stranger you still remember to this day? It is very different. I went to a really good one, and you went to a creepier one, which our minds typically do stick to negative things more often than positive. I think that's an interesting situation there too, because it's kind of weird now that I think about it. Like, the fact that I didn't go to a negative, something that was really creepy, like New Mexico or something. I can't believe Nate called me out on that one. On that one question. He was correct, though. I will never forget New Mexico, ever. I will say, even that's part of why I'm nervous and trying to lock in on this Europe trip here, because I do not want to get into another New Mexico situation. But that's what I'm going to end the live stream with. And I don't know. Maybe I'll see you guys next Sunday. The best I'll say is, if you are interested and you're available, probably just check the community tab on my channel. Otherwise, stop in around 7 o'clock Central and see if I'm live, because for the next couple weeks, if I do go live, it will be at 7 o'clock Central. I just don't know, between all the homework, job, etc., etc. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't want to put myself set in stone for the next month either. So, Nancy, thank you for stopping in. For anyone who rewatches this later, thank you for doing so. I really do appreciate it. Anyone who does have a recommendation, again, a portable phone charger that I could fit in a fanny pack, and it will somewhat charge up my phone somewhat quickly, please comment down in the bottom of this video and let me know if you have a recommendation. But until then, keep it fun, stay safe, take care of your puppies, which the reason I'm not giving mine a TREAT on this one is he's had a lot today, and then he got in trouble. So that is why he's not being shown tonight. But till then, guys, take care, and I'll see y'all on the next adventure.